The White House Correspondents Association is ending the tradition of having a comedian roast the president and the press corps. Now, the decision follows controversy over this year's host, Michelle Wolf, who relentlessly mocked President Trump and other top White House officials. President Trump, who skipped the first two dinners of his administration, called Wolf, quote, a filthy comedian, and said the dinner was dead as we know it. Next year, instead of a comedian, the dinner will feature a historian. Joining us is former Republican congressional candidate and investment banker Justin Laurie and comedian Blame the Comic. So, Blame, when you heard that the White House Correspondents Association, they're now changing, they won't have a comedian there. Your thoughts on that as a comedian?
Womp, womp, womp. Boring. You hear what I'm saying, man? You need something to lighten the mood up in there. And they couldn't have been me, because I'd have tore his ass off the bone, man. The truth hurt, you know what I mean? Like, this president done fired so many people that I saw a job for the White House down at the work source, man. You know what I mean? And went online, and it was still there on ZipRecruiter. You know, they say if you want a job at the White House, you got to go through a temp agency, because your ass going to be there temporarily. For real.
Your thoughts on this, Justin? Is it appropriate for comedians to take their shots at the president?
I think there's nothing wrong with a comedian taking their shots at it. But the story that's been overlooked about this whole, let's call it a controversy, is who's behind the change. It wasn't the White House. It wasn't President Trump. It was actually the White House Correspondents Association. Their backers, the people who provide the money for this, the real money behind it, CBS, Politico, the Washington Post, they all said, if you continue to have a comic, if you continue to have this type of, let's call it an atmosphere, then we're pulling our money, we're pulling our sponsorships, and we're not attending. So that's what really drove the story.
Now, we have seen this type of dinner in the past, or this very same dinner in the past, where they've had comedians in the past. They've taken their shots at the president gets up and goes after them as well. So why are we so sensitive now with this administration?
It's just that climate, man. You know, I think it's that time where, you know, people are super sensitive, especially this president. You know, he got a lot going on. He's always on TV saying something crazy, arguing with the press, you know, on national TV. There it is right there, y'all showing it. You know, it's silly, and I think it'll be right back, you know, next year, man. You know, you always have to have something that break up the monotony of what's going on, you know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be so serious. It's enough tension in the world right now as it is.
Well, the temperature has changed so dramatically. Michelle Wolf really that's her right name, right?
Yeah.
She really moves it to a whole nother level that hasn't been there before. When the press would roast Obama, it wasn't nearly that, let's call it vicious or vile. With Bush, I mean, he had a ventriloquist one year. So it's a nice change to have somebody who wrote a good book. Well, actually, he wrote a couple of good books. I mean, I know.
Oh, you got me excited now.
So I'm actually quite excited for it. I'm going to watch this one. So the big play, Hamilton, which I've never seen.
Do you really think that will be able to, you know, obviously?
It's a black tie gala. The whole thing is to create money for scholarships. It's about journalism scholarships. And it was started in 1921. Let's go back to the core purpose. Why does this thing exist? It's not to sit there and poke fun at the president. It's not to do skits. It's not to make fun of Chris Christie for being overweight, as he did viciously one year. What's the point of that?
Hey, it's freedom of speech. You know what I mean?
Absolutely it is.
Amendment. The White House Correspondent people, they booked Michelle Wolf. They knew who they booked, and then at the end of it going to say, you know, well, this was the wrong person. You knew who you booked before you booked them. I'm pretty sure they got references. All the people that they book are usually from SNL or writers behind some of these Hollywood shows and stuff like that. So they know the background of what's going on and what's coming. And you've seen all roasts. And then to her defense, the president has called women fat, ugly, this, that, the third, so he can dish it, but he can't take it. You know, it's hard when it's true. You know what I mean? Even though he wasn't there.
But it's not him who made the decision to end it.
But I bet he had some input.
Thank you, guys.